Our special series, Transformation, focuses tonight on a woman who put her struggle with her gender identity out there for everyone to see. And we get more in NewsHour Insight tonight from Deb Hope. Deb.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Tonight, we meet a woman who tried for years to quash her gender identity issues. She was born in a male body and lived as a man, even getting married, trying to be what society expected of her. Why? Fears of discrimination and even repulsion. But ironically, after suppressing her feelings for 24 years, she came out in the most public forum possible, making a film about her transition and the effect it had on her family and friends. Lynn Colliar now with Gwen's story.
I played hockey for probably 8 or so years, I guess.
Gwen was born in Vancouver as Stephen Haworth, a hockey-loving Canadian boy.
It was fun. It was great. I'm often one most sportsmanlike, but
young Stephen was waging an internal fight, tormented by feelings he was in the wrong body.
I think it was more a deep yearning to be perceived or seen or be in the world as female.
But Gwen fought that feeling for 27 years. Stephen got married and tried to keep the female voice inside quiet, afraid of being perceived by society as a freak.
In the representations of the media, whenever I saw somebody who identified as female but was born male-bodied, the representations always showed them as being carnivalesque, psycho killers, something to laugh at, something marginalized.
Movies like Transamerica have come a long way in helping society understand what being transgender means.
Mom! Get in here before the neighbors see you.
But even this movie included a reaction from the character's mother that most trans people fear.
Mom! Oh my God, Murray, he's still a boy.
You know, we tend to see other people's experiences through our own filter of our own experience, and I might be horrified to think, oh my God, you're going to cut these things off if I think about it happening to me. And that's how most people react.
Come on, girls. Let's go shopping.
That discrimination comes from many confusing images in the media. The cult classic Priscilla, Queen of the Desert showcases 3 drag queens, one of whom is a trans female. Well, if I say the word transgender to you, what do you think it means?
Transgender?
Controversial stuff that I'd rather not try to define.
Not quite sure.
Transgender, half and half?
Well, I would think it would mean someone who is in the middle of a sex change operation.
I think of people who are maybe born into a different body than what they identify with.
In fact, being trans is more common than you may think. Vancouver Coastal Health has had a transgender primary care program for the past 5 years. These days, they are getting 2 to 3 new clients a week.
What's nice is that they're much younger, and they have not had to live with this very difficult discordance for such a long time. So we're able to support them and provide them with the counseling that they need earlier on.
Transitioning at a younger age is also easier physically. Early hormone therapy slows down the development of secondary sex characteristics. It took Gwen 3 years to transition, beginning with hormones. She had the upper and lower body surgeries, but also had nose and chin surgery and more than 100 hours of electrolysis. It's a decision she's relieved she finally made.
The idea that I would go to my deathbed not telling anybody, and people not recognizing that there's this whole other part of who I am, was actually quite depressing.
My nightmares are about being ostracized, being purposely left behind.
So after not talking about it for 27 years, Gwen decided to go public in a big way with a documentary about how her transition affected her family and friends, especially her wife of 5 years.
I couldn't understand how you could want to share the rest of your life with me and not tell me this thing that's so integral to who you are.
Her parents grieved the loss of their son.
To try and retrain my brain to say Gwen was so hard.
That was my son. I gave him my name and he threw it away.
The award-winning documentary, She's a Boy I Knew, has had 150 film festival screenings.
There's my parents.
Now an activist, Gwen hopes her story helps others transition, and they too will be able to keep friends and family close.
It just makes me happy because I feel like somehow I've contributed back, or I've contributed to community, and it feels like meaningful work. So.
That I'm not the monster I saw reflected back at me in the television set. Maybe that's why I no longer have the nightmares I had in my youth.
If you're interested in seeing She's a Boy I Knew, you can click on the transformation link on our homepage of our website at globaltvbc.com. Tomorrow night, we meet a trans teen named Nikki. She is waiting for sexual reassignment surgery and desperately wants to have it here in Vancouver. But BC sends all male to female trans patients to Montreal. We'll tell you why on tomorrow's NewsHour.